the last silence before sound was invented. Arya lifts her arms, inviting imagined waves that never vibrate. The spirals sketch music, laughter, and conversation without sound. Silence gathers close, a warm hush making the visions glow tenderly. Conflict flickers across her face. Awe softens into a sudden worry. The waveforms wait, perfectly poised, as Arya hesitates inside quiet. Arya raises the tuning fork, but refuses to strike it. A fingertip brushes the prong. Motion trembles, almost nothing. A single mote shivers, emitting a pinprick glimmer where sound would be. Warmth withdraws from that speck. A small aching hollow appears. She gasps in silence, turning as if to apologize to a friend. Arya cradles the tuning fork to her chest. Her robes finally still. Silence enfolds her again, soothing, though its edges fray like mist. She pleads without words, a delicate gesture, a downward gaze. The hush answers with warmth, acceptance, purpose, a wish to be remembered. The council sharpens into presence around Arya in ceremonial formation. Sight blazes, touch hums, the others align toward the empty stand. Silence clutches her shoulders like a cloak of living warmth. Pressure builds in the void. Placement becomes precise, fateful. Arya stands between radiance and rest, summoned to witness. Sight offers gifts, rain on roofs, laughter, thunder, tender whispers. Balance reveals costs, screams, war, and relentless crowding noise. The hush counters with true peace, the fertile dark, where ideas root. Pulled both ways, she remains in the center, listening to meaning. In the depthless expanse, Arya floats where no rhythm has begun. Silent shapes drift by, hinting at rhythms that have never sounded. Arya's robes lift like waves that do not yet exist, poised and calm. Color fields breathe, a universe flexing before its first heartbeat. At the center, Arya steadies the untouched fork, glimmering with promise. 6 vast forms phase in a hexagon, encircling Arya with ceremony. Sight's prism refracts a crown of hues, angling toward the center. Touch tessellates, a lattice breathing near motion around the circle. The empty pedestal waits, angled toward Arya and the brightening fork. Liquid taste, smells helix, and balance align, axes trained to center. The council's first utterance arrives, simple and colossal. Arya flinches as existence receives its first command. Light words echo through the hexagon, then subside to clarity. Arya absorbs both pride and wonder as the fields quiet again. Warmth recedes, the space around Arya subtly hollows. The empty pedestal seems to sigh, though nothing stirs the air. Arya reaches outward. The void receives the gesture with kindness. Silence gathers close, a presence felt more than seen. Stillness speaks in images. Peace between heartbeats appears. A bridge of light forms, spanning the pause before understanding, where thoughts form. A garden of frozen ripples blooms around Arya. The untouched fork glints, a promise within remembered quiet. Tableaus drift past, each pause tender, spacious, and alive. Arya hovers between creation and preservation, eyes closed at the brink. The converging corridor narrows, pressing destiny forward without a sound. A last, tender warmth gathers, as if pleading to remain alongside change. She steadies herself, a still body carrying the weight of unborn thunder. Between breath and act, Arya listens to what cannot be heard. A realization opens, not replacement, but space where both may live. Arya addresses the council, offering shapes of meaning woven with quiet. Between crest and trough, purpose gathers, and uncertainty loosens its hold. The hush takes form, cautious hope, threading the newly revealed spaces. In the spaces between, the world to come finds its first breathing room. Arya strikes the tuning fork. The first note flowers as living light. The frequency moves through her. Ripples bloom and settle without fear. She releases it, and the note finds its own end, welcomed by hush. Sound dissolves, and a vast, tender quiet returns, alive beside it. What remains is presence, a remembered hush resting near the born note. Arya sets a pattern. Sound, then silence, a breath-shaped architecture. The council stirs. Absence looks like form, and doubt begins to soften. A tender quiver approaches the unborn. Echo leans toward permission. Arya nods, and the pattern opens a place for the echo to arrive. Sound and quiet tessellate. A nascent music holds both without loss. Waves of sound dance, each crest embraced by a valley of living quiet. Arya smiles with eons in youth. As acknowledgement ripples through creation, the council bows. The space between notes remains bright and sovereign. One perfect note lingers, then yields to a tender hush filling everything. Music and quiet entwine, The heart holds credits written in luminous calm.